Hello and welcome to episode 60-something of the RetroSlot podcast. This week we'll be talking about Super Mario World. We got a ton of retro news to talk about. And I got a real dilemma that I've been struggling with that I got to ask Jay about and hopefully get some advice. And if you got any advice as a listener, please contact me. I'd love to get this one solved because it's really been bugging me lately. Jay, how are you?
I'm doing all right, man. It's like you were just talking a minute ago about like long week, long weekend.
Yeah.
We did I don't know, some people out there listening might know that we did a charity raid-a-thon for
Yeah.
like Destiny community last week. So I was pulling 2 streams a day. I was doing one in the morning and one in the evening, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then like 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. And there were some nights where I wasn't even getting like 5 hours of sleep, and it was like every day for it was Briar's face right now. I was like, why? But it's pretty awesome. There was like 39 content creators, and then we had Jason from St. Jude, and that was awesome. And we raised over $12,000, which is awesome. And the whole community came together, and it was lots. I was laughing my butt off, but yeah, it was a lot of a lot of stress behind the scenes about like I do not envy event coordinators.
No.
That is not something that I would want to do on a regular basis for a job. Like trying to get 39 creators together is like herding cats, right? Like respectfully, like everybody's got their own thing going on. But there was quite a few instances where people, like, after I set the schedule, so I sent out forms, right? Like, what's your availability? And I have them all blocked out so they can choose their availability, and then they can choose their like number one priority block, like which one they'd want to do the most, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'd get all that scheduled out, and then like I send out the like, okay, here's a schedule, and then like bang, 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 like 5 people are like, I can't make that time anymore. There's something changed, whatever. And a couple of those that happened, it was like hours before their block. So then I was like, kind of scrambling to get stuff worked out. Like, fortunately, a couple of people in our community, like I was super stressed because I just want to not leave anything hanging or whatever. So I reached out to a couple of people that I knew their stuff in our community. I was like, hey, dude, any chance you got like 3 hours to spare to come raid with us? Otherwise, it's not going to be great.
Content creators in particular are a cat-like breed, right? They're like goldfish. They see something and they just swim to it, and then they completely forget what they're swimming to, and they see something else and they swim to that. For years, we had a new guest for every episode of the Destiny Community Podcast every week, and it was a nightmare setting that up.
Yeah, that's just one person.
Yeah.
Per week, right?
Did you have a wedding planner when you got married?
Oh, we had a lot of help.
Yeah.
My wife did a lot of it. We had her cousin helping, like, the planning stuff. We had a lot of people involved, parents, all sorts of stuff. We had a big wedding. What about y'all?
We did not. What we tried to do, so I had my wife convinced that the best option was to do the wedding in our backyard, right? It was going to be beautiful. I was going to rent some tents, and it was just going to be like
in the big backyard.
It's big enough for a small wedding, like we're going to rent some tents, just in case it rained. But we also have like gardens back here, so you could, it could be outside, inside, have music, have dancing in the tents. Like my father comes in, he comes to visit one day, and he's like, "In the backyard? No!" It just totally convinces my wife that this is the worst idea he's ever heard and that she's ever heard. And then convinces her, like, here's the wedding you need is like a nice venue at a church, like all this stuff. It's like, you just cost me $15,000, you son of a bitch. And I know you're not paying for it, you deadbeat.
Oh, no.
So we tried to plan the wedding from scratch, like ourselves, right? Trying to save money.
Right.
And we had a date set, and the date was approaching. We were like 3 months away, and I'm just like, this ain't gonna happen. Like we are not this. Like there's still too many things. So we delayed the wedding a full year, and we got a wedding planner. because it was such a mess. So I'm with you, Jay. I would not want to be an event planner.
I did not. There was not a whole lot, to be honest. There wasn't a whole lot I was involved in with her wedding. I would help input on like some of the design, the colors, stuff like that. But the logistics of like who's gonna sit where and like
Oh yeah, yeah.
like no,
I could care less.
I
don't even know half these people.
There was yeah, 80% of the guest list was my wife's, to be fair. But
yeah, we had a bunch of like neighbors come. I've like never even met these people. They don't even wave to me when I like.
There was one decision. If I could go back and take back this decision, I would make one change for anybody out there. Well, no, we had beer and wine only. But it was a lot of beer and wine.
Okay.
And we still had people like get carried out because it was unlimited.
Nice.
Like, we didn't limit people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we even got to the reception, there was already people getting carried out because it was like open before, for an hour, cocktail hour or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the one thing that I would change for anybody out there who's thinking about getting married or whoever's planning, there's probably at least a couple. Do not have your wedding and your reception at 2 different locations.
Yes, I agree.
That's my biggest regret. We had our
I mean, if you're getting it done, if you're getting married in a church, you might not have a choice, right? Like you can't necessarily have your reception at a choice.
My wife wanted to have the ceremony at the church that we were going to at the time, which it was like a non-denominational, very open kind of Christian church. We don't really go to church right now, but we're like, okay, let's have our reception somewhere else. So we did it like 20 minutes away. It was a drive. Like you had to drive on the highway and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was a parade weekend. Like there was traffic and it was just a night and it was hot as balls. It was like 100 degrees out. It was huge.
Why do we get married during the summer? It's so stupid. You know how much cheaper it is to get married in winter? It's so much cheaper. It's so much cheaper. But we insist on getting married in the summer because why? Why do we want to get married in the summer? Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? It literally makes no difference for the rest of your life. You know what my advice is when to get married is get married in the winter, but make sure you're not anywhere near like major other holidays. Like for instance, Mother's Day, which my anniversary was 2 days after. Just be aware of maybe other birthdays or stuff that you're going to like be right next to. Because you don't really want to double up on heavy gift giving holidays.
Yeah. But yeah, I would have definitely had both because the reception, they were both nice. Like the reception place was super nice. We would have just had the ceremony there.
Yeah.
Like, have people move tables and stuff. It's whatever. It's just don't have people get in the car and drive. It's bad.
Yeah.
I would never do that again.
I mean, it's unavoidable in some situations. Like if you have to use a church. We did like a rose garden at the venue that we had the reception. So it was like you just walk over, which was nice. Anyhow, enough about weddings.
We've been to weddings. I was just going to say, we've been to weddings since then. Yeah. We had to drive to 2 different locations. And I was like, these motherfuckers, like, how dare they make us drive? No. Yeah, after we did it.
Okay, one last thing. I went to an out-of-state wedding one time, and they didn't reserve hotel rooms. So everybody was like staying like all over town because there were no
accommodations. Oh,
yeah, we like motels, hotels all over the place. It was a mess. So make sure you reserve some hotel rooms.
Hotel blocks, yeah.
Jay, I got a problem.
Yeah, what is it? Over or under toilet paper?
No, that is solved. Little hint about Briar is that if I come to your house, I'll often flip the toilet paper over to the correct way.
The only exception is if the house has cats or little children.
Okay. I still might flip it though.
I don't like it when people come to our house and they leave the toilet seat in a different position than it was when they got here. Like we have a family member who leaves the toilet seat up every time they go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Pulls the toilet lid. Anyway,
yeah.
Sorry.
I really don't care. Anyhow, I got a problem.
Yeah.
Wilson, who we had on last episode, has been sending me these modified consoles. And they are so nice. I'm going to, just while we're explaining this, I'm going to put the 3 face on. This is, on screen right now is a video of the Super NES Junior that Wilson sent. And the video out from this thing is so crisp and so clean. It's really good. But my cartridges are all filthy. They're all filthy. Every time I pull a cartridge out and put it in there. Yeah.
Yes, you may send all of your games and consoles that you're not going to use to me. Yeah.
No. That's not the question. The problem is that I cleaned them already. When I buy them, like I'll often buy if I go to the retro game store, I'll often buy like 3 games, right? You know, some small number of games. And then I get home, and before I even play them, I get the alcohol out, and I get the Q-tip and I clean them up.
Not that kind of alcohol.
That too. And then I clean them up. I clean them up and I test them, make sure they work. Because you want to make sure, I want to clean them before I stick them in my system because I don't want to get any goop or grime that's on the cartridge when I bought it inside of my system. But secondly, I enjoy the process of it. It's not like, I can't remember the guy's name, but remember the guy who owns the store that was on a few months ago? What's his name? Josh. Like, I can understand why he is like sick and tired of cleaning cartridges because he does thousands of them. But for me, I do just a few, and I find it, fairly nice to do. So I do a pretty good job. And then, I'll play it for a bit, and then I'll put it on a shelf. And then I might not play it again for a year, 2 years, 3 years, right? But now I'm realizing, like, I got this new NES, I got this new Super Nintendo. All my cartridges need to be cleaned. Like, I put them in the system, and they don't work at all. And I got to go, like, vigorously clean them. And when I get the Q-tip, actually, I got a Q-tip here. It's all black. Sitting there. It's just filthy black, right? I'm like, what is going on? So my office, no animals are allowed in here. I try and keep it as dust. I got so much electronics in here. I try and keep it really dust free. I don't let any of the pets in here to get like fur balls and shit around here. It's really, it's pretty clean in here. But I do not understand, like, what is going on? What is happening to these cartridges? I don't know if it's just like humidity and oxidization or whatever. So, like, I'm thinking maybe I need to get like some of those like clamshell cases like they sell at like Stone Age Gamers, just to like protect them from the environment, so that like I don't have to clean them every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a few different options. They used to have this whole project. I believe it was called the Cover Project, and they would like directly link to there was some clamshell case. I can't remember what they're called, but they don't have them anymore. They were a product of the COVID shutdown, like business stuff not going well. So those used to be able to get for like 50 cents to $1 a pop if you bought like 40 of them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't get those anymore. Those were the clear ones. But now, you spend probably a couple of bucks a box, I would think, to get the 8-bit boxes or whatever. Aren't those like $3 or $4 a piece?
Yeah, it's like $3. It's like, plus if you want to get artwork, which I do, I'm gonna want to get artwork. It's gonna be a little bit more.
Sure, like $5 a pop probably.
Yeah, I think it might be like $5 to $7 a piece. Once you include shipping and everything, like it gets pricey. But like otherwise, it's so inconvenient.
There is one alternative. If you want to keep them as cartridges, because there is an aesthetic to it, like, those cases look really nice and everything, and you can make them look really uniform with all of your other cases and stuff, which is great.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to save a little money, places like Retro Protection, they have individual cartridge. Like, how I put my boxes in these like thin kind of plastic? They have those for cartridges.
Oh, really?
So you can just slide them into the cartridge, and they're not airtight, but I imagine they're gonna protect them from dust and stuff for the most part.
Yeah. I kind of like that idea better. It's gonna be cheaper, which I do like, but B is like if I get those big, they're like Genesis cart size or Genesis box size things. I'm gonna have to like redo my entire shelving system because like the Super Nintendo, I'm gonna aim like you can see like the Super Nintendo carts have enough room for Super Nintendo carts, and that's it. Same with the NES.
Hi, Briar. It's
Hey.
like his face right up his camera. Those little cases, I do have some for my higher for my higher value games.
Yeah.
I can show you actually.
Yeah, I'd like to see.
They're really thin, but they fit the cart like
Oh yeah.
they fit the cart nice, and I don't think there's any dust. Well, there's some dust on the top of the thing. But literally,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wiping it off now. It's like anything that gets a
Yeah.
little bit of dust on it, but it's on the case instead. But the one thing that you can't have the like game covers, the plastic bottoms. Oh, maybe you need some of those. Maybe just get some of the bottom,
Oh, just the plastic bottoms.
yeah.
Or the sleeves for NES cartridges.
Yeah. You can get these for like $1 a pop. These things.
Yeah, maybe I
Those
should
help.
just get that. But then they
You can
sit
get
on the
those.
shelf weird. That's the only thing about those.
No, they don't. They actually sit way nicer.
I have it. I have them like here. I have them so like the
You
label is
can
facing out.
it
I don't know if you
yeah,
can see it.
you'd be able to fit them based on what's there, but it does make it so that if you didn't have them, you could probably fit a full extra game on the shelf without them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
get like maybe one less game horizontally with these on there, because I have them on quite a few of mine on my shelf, and they're arranged like that as well.
Okay.
So.
I have messed up my camera now, and I feel like I gotta like move my body to be in frame. It's weird. I'm sorry. Sorry for moving the camera.
It is weird though that you're getting dust and stuff on those games when you have the inside.
It's
of
not
the game, like,
dust.
it's oxidation. It's
I don't know. It's like
discoloring
it's
of the-
whatever it is. It's black, and the games won't play at all. Like I was having a lot of trouble with that NES that Wilson sent me, and I had to like really get after these cartridges, like really clean them.
Do you have like humidity and stuff over there?
Yeah,
Do you have a dehumidifier in your room or anything?
I have an air conditioner.
Like, because this game I haven't touched in a long time, and it looks great. So
Well, they look okay until you like put a alcoholic Q-tip to it. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just humidity. I definitely got to do something about it though, because it's really fucking annoying. And then it's like, do I really want to clean this, or should I just play it on the Mister? Like, I'd rather play it. I'd rather play it on this awesome Super Nintendo that Wilson sent with like. I also got these HD Retrovision cables that he recommended. Those are really nice too. They like break out into a component and then plug into the RetroTink 5X. Just looks fabulous. Just fabulous. I've never seen a Super Nintendo output this level of like I have my original Super Nintendo that's a 2-chip system, and then I have like I was A-B'ing them, and like I didn't think my original 2-chip Super Nintendo looked that bad until I plugged in this one that Wilson sent, and it's like, oh my god, it's so sharp. It's so sharp. It looks great.
ignorance is bliss.
I suppose. I mean, obviously the Mister looks a lot sharper than the 2-chip, but I mean, it doesn't look any sharper than this one that Wilson sent. Looks really good.
Is there much of a difference between like the analog system and what you're running now? Have you tried that, like an analog?
I haven't done that yet. I don't play my analog systems that much, honestly.
I imagine based on what's playing on the DCP feed right now, it seems like colors might be the biggest difference, because the colors are seemingly a bit different.
They're
The
different.
analog are a little bit brighter RGB, if that makes sense. And what you were showing were a little bit more
interesting. Well, this is also getting streamed over the internet, right? Like it's getting captured by a capture card and then processed.
The yellows seem a little bit darker than what I was playing.
Interesting.
This last week.
Interesting.
Nothing major, but just it's not a huge deal.
Yeah, so that's the Super Nintendo plugged into a RetroTink, plugged into, and a capture card plugged into. Like, what the
yeah.
What am I even doing over here, Jay?
It's fine. Totally not a problem.
It looks so sharp, man. It looks so good. And I've never had a Super Nintendo Junior before. I didn't know there wasn't like an LED on it that tells you it's powered on. Did you know that?
I didn't.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
Also, it could be great though. Thinking about being a kid, your mom coming in trying to turn off your game. When you do the AV trick or whatever, they wouldn't know.
Yeah.
When the light's on, they know that it's on.
Yeah. The Super Nintendo. I did that a lot with the Super Nintendo. By the time, with the regular Nintendo. By the time the Super Nintendo came around, most of the games had saves, so you didn't have to do that as much. but you still had to do it sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes dinner has to wait. I am busy.
Man, we would leave that NES on for like 8 hours.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Days, I think. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think like
It's wild.
I have a friend who's got Legend of Zelda burnt into his CRT TV that he still has. He still has this thing. He's like, I don't want to get rid of it. It's like
That's great.
such a childhood memory. When the thing is turned off, you can see Link in the middle, and you can see like the hearts on the top right hand side.
Yeah.
Even when it's turned off, you can see it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so I got to think of something. I like your idea of the plastic cases. That seems like a good idea. The little plastic covers that just go on the bottom. That's a good idea too. But I keep my cartridges like on their edge, so you can read the label by looking at them straight on.
Yeah, yeah.
So they would kind of like lean forward if they had that little edge protector on them.
Well, if you have a bunch of them side by side, it's not too bad. But
Yeah,
these definitely, they're very like straight edged, right? Like,
yeah.
so.
No, I'm talking about the edge protector.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just saying that, like, they work real great like that.
Yeah.
Right? And then this way, I wouldn't say that it's just more if you have a bunch of them up against each other.
Yeah, it's not quite as neat
they can
and tidy.
They can kind of.
Yeah.
I don't really care as much.
Yeah.
Mine are pretty straight up and down, but it does make it so you can't have maybe one SNES game at the very end because it does take up extra space here.
Yeah, I do like the idea of getting like those Stone Age Gamer, like kind of like the big kind of like Genesis style cases, but it's gonna take up a lot more room per game.
Yeah,
and like I said, I'm gonna have to like rearrange my entire bookshelf, which I don't really want to do, especially in the summertime. That's a wintertime project.
Did you catch what game this was too? By the way,
yeah, not for resale Street Fighter 2.
I don't have a lot of not for resale stuff, but
was that a pack-in with a Super Nintendo, or what's the story
these
behind
are pretty much anything not for resale demo is like Blockbuster copies or like Game Store copies where they had the like display up and stuff. That's usually where these come from.
Oh, interesting.
And there's really not that many, maybe like a couple of tens of thousands or something like that of these made compared to millions of the other copies, kind of thing.
So that's not a rare game, but that version obviously is rare. Is it worth a lot of money?
Yeah, I mean, maybe like $150 or something like that. Nothing astronomical, but
yeah,
some of them are. Some of the most rare games for some systems, like N64. I'm pretty sure what is it, like Yoshi's Advent, or what is it, Yoshi's something. The Yoshi game for N64. There's a not for resale version of it that's worth thousands. Pretty sure. Stuff like that.
I like that game, Yoshi's Island.
Yeah.
Except for the Screaming Baby part, but there you can buy a mod where they modded that out. Which
really, I might
download that mod because I actually really enjoy that game. It's kind of like a fun, kind of quirky game. And it's beautiful.
I don't know if I've played through it actually, but well, we'll talk about
the short list.
Part of it on the news that actually it's relevant in the news, so we'll talk about that. I'm just gonna make up a discussion topic based on what our stream question of the day was.
Fire away.
What fad would you like to see come back?
Ooh, jams.
What are those?
Oh, jams or shorts. I think in the late 80s.
JAMZ?
JAM. I don't know if there was a Z or an S at the end of that.
I think I might know what you're talking about.
But they're imagine like
baggy ones.
They weren't that baggy. They were like they might have been a little baggy. They were kind of board shorty, but they were like imagine like a Hawaiian shirt, but for your
Saved
pants.
By the Bell, like Saved by the Bell shorts, basically.
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's one that literally looks like it's not Jam's version, but there's one that literally looks like the Saved by the Bell intro.
Is it spelled with Z or S?
S.
Okay, Jams. That was before they started spelling Z things, I think. Tacking on a Z to make it more edgy. Yeah, Jams was a good one.
Some people said Jenkos.
Okay. I never had Jenkos. They were like the ultra baggy jeans, right?
Yeah. Those are kind of coming back now too, which is sad. I don't understand today's style. Like it's going back to late 90s mom jeans and stuff. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Like the high-waisted kind of like hip hugger kind of thing. Yeah.
Stonewashed, like kind of straight leg baggy jeans and stuff like that for
Okay.
women. It's weird to me. Tube tops and crimped hair, and it's weird to me.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, I have dressed
Not that it looks
exactly the
bad, it's
same
just-
my entire life.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't see guys' fashion changing all that much.
It does if you pay attention to fashion, which I do not. But like,
yeah, I wear the same stuff now as I did when I was in like middle school, high school. So.
yeah, I have no fashion sense. When I was of dating age, my play was to go to a store and look at the mannequins, and then just
copy them.
buy everything the mannequin had on, because I figured somebody who knows what they're doing probably put this outfit together.
So you have a lot of polo shirts, is what you're saying.
Oh, back then I had a lot less polo shirts. I wore a lot more. Well, it was a lot of button downs, and I like to roll up the sleeves. A lot more khakis and like dressier pants.
Dockers.
Not Dockers. I was shopping at like let's see, like J. Crew and like those kinds of places.
Oh, like nicer places.
Yeah. I was trying to look nice. I was trying to get the ladies.
I was shopping at like Mervyn's and JCPenney and
Yeah.
remember Mervyn's?
No, I've never heard of that.
No? That
No.
was my back to school spot. My mom would give me like $200 to spend.
Oh, when
And
I was a little kid, I was definitely shopping at the cheap stores. It was like Caldors.
I'm talking like 16, 17, 18.
Okay, yeah. Until I started buying my own clothes, I was like Marshalls. You know Marshalls?
Yes.
It's like a discount brand. It's like they're like the one-offs,
like Ross and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that shopping
TJ
there is
Maxx.
hip now. Getting like vintage style, like secondhand clothes is totally in now.
Awesome.
It's like
right.
whatever.
What fad would you like to see come back?
Man, I took part in so many fads, like just going down the list of Pogs, yo-yos. Do you remember the
yo-yos were good? I liked yo-yos too.
Yeah. I was big
and
into
fidget
yo-yos
spinners. Fidget spinners more recent, but I really liked them.
Yeah.
I had a
those are
Destiny
still
one.
relevant. Well, now it's what's hot now is like the poppets, you know, the little rubber things that look like mini ice trays that you.
Oh, yeah, those were around like the 80s.
Were they? Because those are very popular right now.
Interesting. Yeah, I remember those when I was a kid.
Do you remember? Did you ever get the small sticks with a big stick with kind of it looks like the window washing stuff on the ends of it, and you'd like juggle it. The little sticks, you know, no,
Like the devil sticks?
I don't know what they're called. Are they called devil sticks?
Like you got two long sticks in your hand,
Yes.
and then you kind of like
Yes.
you juggle like the middle stick that's like slightly bigger. Yeah, those are fun too.
I had one of those.
I had one of those too. Those are good. I like them.
I mean,
super good if you're a stoner, because you could just like zone in on that thing.
I was big into hacky sack because you could play hacky sack anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got your buds. All of a sudden, you're like, all right, circle up. You just toss the hacky sack and you know what I mean? Like there was no like organization to it. You just had to
feel like
a circle and
the hacky sack perfectly explains the male relationship too, because it's like six dudes. Let's say like six dudes, right? Standing around kicking this thing, but not saying a fucking word to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Unless it was like, ooh, nice.
Yeah. But like, you could be there for like 45 minutes and like literally not a word outside of like, oh, good one. Oh, you missed it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like you go home and like you talk to your girlfriend, like, what you guys talk about? Like, nothing. We played hockey for an hour.
We did this motion with our hands.
Yeah.
Remember this guy? Looking like you're holding an awkward baby.
A hacky sack, man. It was like, how could you spend time with somebody and not talk about it at all? Hacky sack.
Yeah, I loved hacky sack. I mean, I bet some kids still play with that, but like I got like a competition style hacky sack, you know.
Oh, those are hard. The little tiny leather ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. We used to buy the ones at the head shop that were made out of like, they were like knit, and we used to like cut them open and like take half the beads out.
Yeah, it's called bleeding the hacky sack.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. So it was like way easier.
To stall it. Yeah. You don't want them full. No, you can't stall them and stuff.
But those little leather ones were tough. They were like really hard to use.
Those are fun. I don't know. Anyways.
Gaming related though, I got another one. One fad that I'd love to see come back are gaming accessories that aren't performance related. That they're more about making you feel like you're part of the game. Like
a
now,
Genesis chair.
yeah, sure. Well, not that one in particular, but like they used to like make like joysticks
Power
and stuff that
Yeah.
were like about like making you more immersed in your game as opposed to making your performance better. In fact, some of these accessories would make you worse at the game, but they were fun to use because like, oh, now it feels like I'm really flying a fighter jet, or now it feels like I'm really like, using this battle mech or something like that, where now everything's about like, well, it's all about like making your performance that much better, like when you're online gaming, which is also good, but I just miss some of the ones that were just about like kind of just making it really feel like you're in a race car or something like that.
They do have a lot of that stuff, but the problem is the technology is so good that it's like overdone, and there's no like middle ground. Either you're playing with your controller, or you have like a $800 at home racing car setup that's got like a full roll cage, and it's got like a 180 screen, and
but there used to be like remember the Sega Activator where it was like this ring that you stood in, and like you'd shoot your hands and legs out, like that's fucking it's stupid, but yeah, I want to try it. Like that looks fun as shit.
Do you remember I showed it was like 6 months ago or a year ago, I showed the NES U-Force,
yes,
which was like this it
like
looked like the battleship
like a laptop
thing, and it had like little attachments, and it was like it detected distance and all that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, like
cool.
that kind of stuff was fucking fun. I suppose like if you got to start a business, it's probably not the best way to go, but still I miss it.
Well, that's kind of how I feel VR is, to be honest, as a whole. It's like kind of niche, and it's not performance based except for maybe Beat Saber, but it's more about immersing yourself in the environment and feeling like you're inside of it.
Yeah, definitely. So Jay, we got a lot of retro news. I saw. I didn't contribute to this retro news at all.
These are all and these are like all interesting to me stories.
Yeah,
anyway, so
they're good stories.
I feel like it's that way to everybody else too. So Numbskull, who they do a lot of like, how do I describe it? Accessories, like figures and stuff like that for a bunch of different brands. I think they did stuff for Bungie too. They created a quarter size TMNT arcade cabinets for both the TMNT arcade games, $299 each. You can play either on the tiny little.
I'm sorry, you said how much?
$299.
Get the fuck out of here.
Listen,
come on.
They are as close of a replica to the full size cabinets as you can get at a quarter size. It's got a 6-inch screen, and you can play either with the little joysticks, and it's 4-player. You could play 4 players on these tiny little joysticks, or they have USB slots on the front of them so you can plug in USB controllers. But in my brain goes, well, what about like Bluetooth controllers? I didn't see a single note about Bluetooth anything on this, which made no sense to me.
I'm here to tell you, you're going to get this thing, you're going to put it on your shelf, and you're never, ever going to play it because it's a quarter size arcade machine, right? The controls are so tiny, and like the joysticks are scale to they're also quarter size. So to use that little joystick is going to be like nearly impossible. This is something that's meant to be like a tchotchke, it's supposed to be shelf art, like $300 though. I feel like $100 is pushing it for something like this. I think like $70 is your price. Like that's like hitting it right on the nail.
I mean, but
$300. Come on.
It's a scale replica. It's really, really close to original like design and everything. I mean, they only made 350 of the TMT and 150 of the Turtles in Time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they're looking to sell 1 million of these things. You know what I mean? Like this is very, very niche for people who want. Because I don't want a full arcade cabinet. I don't have the space for it. Like this.
I want a full arcade cabinet, but I also don't have the space for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But like this comes with like the little stool and stuff too. I don't know.
Yeah, that is kind of cute that it comes with like a stool.
It does say signed by TMNT co-creator Kevin Eastman though.
Okay.
So I don't know.
It's made out of wood too, it says.
Yeah.
Still,
It'll expected
$300.
to
That's
be
crazy. Get out of here.
delivered around December of this year, 2023. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. It's kind of a cool. Like, how often do you see these kind of things? You don't see this very
You
often.
see them all the time. Are you crazy? You see them all the time. There's like a million.
Quarter-size
Yeah, quarter-size
replica that
arcades.
looks.
Yeah, they're all over the place. They're not $300 usually, though.
Well, are you playing on the little joysticks though? With the
No,
little
why
tiny
would I
screen?
play on the little joysticks?
Well, that's what it makes it so unique.
No, that's not what it makes it unique. The price is the most unique thing about it. The gall.
How much do you think shipping is on it?
I don't know.
It's another 30 or 40 bucks probably.
Yeah, right.
Speaking of expensive stuff to put on your table, Lego has announced a Pac-Man arcade set that is going to be available this coming week. And it looks dope as hell.
Yo, this is
like
way cooler.
Yeah, it's like a tabletop, like you go to a bar, it's got the tabletop Pac-Man kind of thing. It's not a full arcade. And it's $269.99, but it does have some moving parts. Like it's got a little crank wheel and like, it emulates the movement of all the little characters. And how many pieces? It was like 2,000 some odd pieces. It's not a small set.
Yeah, it's a pretty big unit. It looks like it's probably like, I don't know, a couple feet tall.
Yeah.
Maybe
and
a foot and a half.
The back opens up and you can look at it. And there's also a mini like scale
this is
like they do.
Wicked cool, actually.
Super cool. Yeah. If I remember correctly, it is June 4th for everybody or June 1st if you're a Lego VIP, which I am not.
I'm not that
lights
connected.
On it too. There's lights on it too.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing is wicked cool. I'm not that connected to the Pac-Man franchise.
I'm not either.
But if they made a Street Fighter one of these, I'd be all over it.
Man,
dude, I love the back of it opens up and there's like an arcade inside. I mean, and you can see like all the gears and stuff.
Yeah. If they made a TMNT or a Simpsons arcade version of this, I'd probably pick it up.
Yeah. Like as far as like cool shelf stuff, this is way cooler than a arcade machine. This is awesome.
Sure, but you can't actually play this really.
You're not going to play the quarter scale one either. It's too small.
You can plug controllers in. USB.
Does it have a HDMI out?
I don't know. I didn't see that.
For $300, you could buy a Mister. Anyhow,
I don't think
falling.
it has an HDMI out. Looking at the specs, you got to play on this little 6-inch screen. I mean, it's like the same as your phone.
Gather 4 friends around and play some TMNT on your phone, but it's 4x3, so it's only like a quarter of the size of your phone.
Well, it's taller. It's 6 inches, so it'd be 6 inches diagonal, right?
Okay.
Like it's still 6 inches. That's what I tell my wife. It's 6 inches diagonally, but it's still 6 inches. Wait. Sorry. Briar's awkward face. It's fine. So this is relevant to now because they have Super Mario World, right? And we were talking about Yoshi's Island.
Yeah.
Super Mario Advance 1 through 3 has just released on the Nintendo Switch expansion pack.
Okay. What games are those?
Available.
What games are
those? Super Mario Advance 1, I believe, is Super Mario Brothers 2. And then Super Mario Advance 2 is, I think, Yoshi's Island. And then 3 might be... Oh, God, I'm going to have to look this up. I don't know why I didn't have a link here.
Yeah, I know that these are, like, confusing. Like, the numbers don't necessarily, like, line up to what games they actually are.
Yeah, okay. So Super Mario Advance, I was right. Super Mario Advance is Super Mario 2. Super Mario Advance 2 is Super Mario World, which is what we just played. And then 3 is Yoshi's Island. So I had them switched. And then the question is, why is Super Mario Advance 4 not on the list?
What game is that?
Super Mario Brothers 3. It's 3. Super Mario Brothers 3.
Interesting. So they did World before they did 3.
World, Yoshi's Island, and Super Mario Brothers 2. But no 3.
But they didn't do Super Mario Brothers 3.
Correct.
Maybe because they already have Super Mario Brothers 3 in the NES section. But they probably have all the other games in, like Super Nintendo or NES section too. Weird. Yeah, that's weird.
And to be fair, it's like, yes, those games are on those, but there's updates on the advanced versions for some of them, like tweaks and stuff that make them a little bit better. Like even the Super Mario World is slightly upgraded compared to the SNES version. So
Better?
yeah,
Like, so you're
slightly.
not zoomed in screen, kind of like you're not you're not compromised because you're playing the
Listen,
handheld version?
gameplay, not size of screen. Yeah, I'm not arguing for or against. I'm just basing that on what people say.
Okay.
So Marathon's been in the news. Obviously, they
Yeah.
announced Bungie's new game Marathon, which a lot of folks are excited for. And you can download, and you've been able to do this for a while. You can download the Marathon trilogy for free through Aleph One, which is it's ALEPH dot IHOWON.org. So I'd probably just Google Aleph One Marathon or something, and it basically has all three versions of the game available for free.
Wow.
And Bungie has pretty much signed off on this and actually advertised for their on their behalf as well, because Bungie made this code open source like in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So these guys are just hosting it and allowing people to download it.
That's
So for
awesome.
those that are wanting to play the Marathon games before the new one comes out, again for free.
It's really they're pretty good games. You know, they came out in the 90s though, right? Like so like
Yeah.
they came out, they're contemporaries of the original Doom game, but they are pretty good, and they have a story to them, which is kind of unique for that time period of first person shooters.
Right. And I imagine the new game's going to have some tie-ins to the story. There has to be.
I would imagine too. But I do remember that they're very kind of like find the key heavy, like kind of in a frustrating way.
Mm.
So I don't know. I'll probably download all three of these and at least check them out, though. This is cool.
Were they PvP games?
I don't believe so. I mean, what are the chances there was another Mac user playing Marathon at the same time as you? Come on. Get out of here.
Because I mean, the new one's going to be, they're talking about like a survival PvP
Yeah.
game, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think so. But maybe I could be wrong. But I think they're primarily single player games.
The next one just makes me think,
Oh,
why can't we
it
get
says,
this in
I'm
the
sorry,
US?
it says right here, Marathon Infinity does have online play. So that was the third one.
Okay. Most multiplayer online matches are played with Infinity. Oh, there was an Xbox Live Arcade remake of Marathon too. Apparently.
Yeah, I played that one. That's how I first played Marathon.
Gotcha.
On Xbox Live.
So the next one makes me a little jealous of Japan, amongst other things. McDonald's of Japan is releasing a video game McNugget for the McNugget's 40th anniversary that plays Tetris.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it's part of the Happy Meal, but it's like a little video game thing with a little pouch that you can play Tetris on.
That's awesome. It's
Yeah.
a little nugget, but it's got like a little like D-pad on it so you can play the game.
Yeah, little Game Boy looking LCD.
That is adorable.
Yes.
How much is it? $300.
Well, it's I'm pretty sure it's part of the
Comes in a Happy Meal?
Pretty sure, because there's a picture of a Happy Meal on the bottom left.
Dude, this is awesome. I bet it's gonna be worthwhile to get one of these off of eBay.
Apparently, Sonoma in chat says they've seen them on eBay for like $30.
Oh, awesome. I'm definitely ordering one. It's got a little pouch too.
Yeah.
With nuggets on it. A little nugget pouch.
Do you like McDonald's nuggets?
Yes, I do like McDonald's nuggets.
Those are your favorite over the other ones?
My favorite over which other ones? Like other nuggets?
Wendy's?
I think they're the only nuggets that I've ever had.
Oh, you should try Wendy's nuggets. Let me know what you think.
Okay. We're kind of out of nugget age around here. You know what I'm saying? Like nuggets don't come into the house too often anymore.
You don't like boneless wings, Brian?
Love boneless wings, but anytime I'm eating them, I'm like, damn, wish these had bones in them. It tastes a hell of a lot better.
A lot bonier. Okay, so the Super Mario Brothers movie, the new one, you can buy it. You can buy it or rent it. We actually bought it because it's $30 versus 25. It was 25 to rent or 30 to buy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so all right, I guess we're buying it.
When's it gonna be on HBO Max? I'm sorry, Max.
Yeah.
When's it gonna be on there?
Yeah, well, that's $15 a month. Anyways, so
True.
the original 1993 Mario Brothers movie, which is what we grew up with, right? That's what we had. There was a
That's true.
casting list that was found, the
Yeah.
story, and one of the names on the list was Keanu Reeves. Like, there's so many stars on this list. Just let me,
Yeah.
as Mario, just I'm gonna go down
Okay.
the list. Think about the early 90s. Michael Keaton, Kevin Kline, Bob Hoskins, who obviously got the role.
Yeah.
John Turturro, which I'm not sure who that is.
John Turturro.
Nicholas
Yeah, he's good, great actor.
Nicolas Cage,
Okay.
Bruno Kirby, and Joe Montana. Joe
Montana.
Montana. And then as
Okay.
Luigi, they had like Luigi's directly corresponding with the Marios too.
Oh, so they match up. So with Michael Keaton,
They
they have
tried
Tom
to.
Hanks and Matthew Broderick, and then with
Right.
Kevin
And
Kline, they have
like John Leguizamo wasn't even on the list for Bob Hopkins, which I thought was funny. But they
Okay.
have Tom Hanks, Matthew
Oh,
Broderick,
can you
John
imagine
Leguizamo.
a Mario movie with Tom Hanks as Luigi? Oh my
That'd be great.
god! Yeah.
This is like, oh, this was like Big era. When was this for Tom Hanks?
Oh, it was after Big.
Was it? Was Big
Yeah.
late 90s or late 80s?
I want to say late 80s. Yeah.
Was it like Forrest Gump era? Probably.
Probably more toward Forrest Gump era. It might have been before Forrest Gump though.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not great on movie dates.
Christian Slater, Keanu Reeves.
I guess Christian
Yeah.
Slater is Luigi.
I know that'd be weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, they got Sting as Bowser, so
Okay, I can see that. I
Well,
could
no,
be
Sting
sold
is
on
Bowser.
Sting as Bowser.
Sting is Bowser
Oh.
in that movie, isn't he?
No, I thought what's his name was Bowser from Easy Rider.
Oh no, what was his name?
I don't know. I can't remember his name.
I have to look it up.
But I looking at this and thinking about Keanu Reeves as Luigi, I am 100% on board with that. Understanding though how that movie turned out, right? Having Keanu Reeves as Luigi would slide right into that movie and can only improve it. No, I got no ill will toward John Leguizamo. I think he's a fine actor. But just seeing Keanu Reeves do the Keanu Reeves like, whoa, as Luigi, it just makes me smile. I'm 100% on.
It was Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper,
I don't
thank
know
you.
where I got Sting. Sting would have made a great Bowser though.
He was, yes, I would have, I think it would have been as bad as Dennis Hopper.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where I got Sting. It's fine.
Sting didn't he play the bad guy in Dune?
Probably the original one.
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah,
thinking
probably.
Legend, but I think that was David Bowie in Legend, not Sting.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I often get those two guys confused. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
Dude.
thought it was cool to see that list of potential.
All right, so
I don't know if.
recast it from the people on this list.
Oh my gosh. Nicolas Cage as Mario.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not, right?
Oh gosh.
Like, we're not gonna make a better movie, but it's just, it's gonna be something.
Cage as Mario, and they just had John Turturro as Luigi there, but either Keanu Reeves, Tom Hanks, or Matthew Broderick
Yeah.
as Luigi.
I mean, I gotta go Keanu Reeves for, like, I cannot, like, Keanu Reeves as Luigi just makes me so happy. But for Mario, I mean, all of these are good
Bill
options.
and Ted era too, wasn't it? Like early 90s.
Oh
Bill and Ted
yeah,
era?
yeah, definitely. I mean, it was full on, like, whoa. Like, maybe he was doing like
Whoa.
Point Break. Was
Yeah.
it before Speed? I don't know when Speed came out, but I mean, he was young still.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, all over that. Great story.
We're talking about Sega and movies and Nintendo movies and all that stuff coming out with the success of the Mario Brothers movie. Apparently, Sega, we already know that they're making a Streets of Rage movie, right? And then one other one.
Yeah,
But they're
Crazy Taxi, right?
Is that it?
Was it, or did they say they're making a new Crazy Taxi game?
Sorry, I have a dog chewing on my drumsticks. I can't remember, but
You
They
gotta clean up
have
those wings. When you eat a wing, just put the drumstick directly into the garbage.
drumsticks.
Oh my bad. I got wings on that.
I might have to let you monologue here for a minute. But yeah, they're talking about doing more movies and stuff, trying to get in on the money
Yeah.
train. So my question is, what Sega movie franchise or what Sega franchises could they make into a movie?
Phantasy Star. It's so easy. Phantasy Star, absolutely. And then make a new game, not Phantasy Star Online. I'm talking about Phantasy Star, like the original 8-bit and 16-bit games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get in there, man. That'd be so good. Nice sci-fi kind of like theme. Got so much to work with story-wise. Oh yeah.
Somebody said Altered Beast. Like,
Okay,
but
I would watch that. That'd be fun.
the question is, are they going to have the user base that like a Mario game would have? You know what I mean?
No, nothing has a user base that Mario has.
So like, do they go with kind of a more unknown franchise that would make probably a better script, or would they try to capture
How about
like
Yakuza?
a bigger franchise?
Yakuza would be a
Yakuza?
good one
Is
for
that
Sony.
Sega?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sega. Yeah, they own that.
Is there
That's
not Yakuza
big one.
movies already?
Well, there's lots of Yakuza movies. I don't think they're called
Just not
Yakuza.
like
Are
the
they?
Yakuza
There's
game.
probably a movie called Yakuza. What the fuck am I talking about? Probably. But yeah, that'd be a good franchise. They could call it Like a Dragon because they changed the name of that to Like a Dragon. That would be fun. It'd be fun to see how they did. Like, there's so many like Yakuza movies that are like serious and like bloody and like violent. But it'd be fun to see what they do with kind of like the cornball side of the Yakuza games.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
sure.
That'd be fun.
What about Shinobi?
Yeah. Okay. I'm into Shinobi. I'd watch a ninja movie.
We haven't had many ninja movies recently. Like we had the late 90s, early 2000s Ninja Explosion.
Yeah, there was a lot of ninja movies back in the day, and I watched them all.
Yeah. There's a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
We haven't other than is Jet Li still kicking around? I mean, there was a lot of you remember late 90s, early 2000s martial art movies that we had. There's so many.
Yeah.
And then
You know
there's
who's
just
making
not
those now is there's a ton of great Korean movies that like
Mhm.
they do great martial arts movies in Korea now. Like really good stuff.
All we have now is you would think that people would take this as a sign, but we have Cobra Kai, which is like
Yeah.
that's like our karate ninja stuff that's going on right now. That's basically all we have. I feel
Yeah,
like,
and
in
that
the US.
show's pretty popular and not
Oh, yeah.
really that good. Like it's okay.
I enjoy it because it's really nostalgic. If you have some
Yeah.
connection to the characters.
That's
from back
really
in
like the
day.
primary reason I'm watching it.
Sure. So yeah, it's not very popular or very good, but I'm watching.
I think it is pretty popular.
Yeah. But are you enjoying it?
I
Are you
mean,
getting that
I enjoyed the first
visceral
season a
feeling?
lot,
Yeah.
but like every season subsequently, I've enjoyed less, but still am watching and frankly looking forward to the next season still.
Sure. I do feel like they're dragging it out a little bit, so hopefully
Yeah,
we can
I
wrap
mean,
it up soon.
those guys haven't had a lot of work over the last 20 years.
This is true. So good. Yeah. I'm excited because that started as a YouTube series, and then Netflix bought it.
It did? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
It did start on
The whole
YouTube.
first season was on YouTube.
On YouTube.
I watched it. And I was like, "This is fantastic." Yeah, I remember. It's great. So what? 2 days after our last episode?
Yes. Literally,
Or a
like
day after?
I think it was the next day where they announced it, and then the day after that they released it.
Yeah. So Analogue finally announces and opens pre-orders for the TurboDuo. We've
Yeah.
been waiting 2.5 years for news on this.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, pre-orders available next Friday. Basically, they're like, all right, next week. I may or may not have pre-ordered one in black and white. I don't know which one I'm going to keep yet, but
Okay.
you can pre-order it now. I'm pretty sure they're still open. I don't
Yeah, they're
see
still
this
open.
selling out.
I just double checked.
I don't know if they're doing the pocket thing where they're leaving pre-orders open and then doing shipping windows again. I hope not, but could be. If they're just like, you know what I mean, taking infinite pre-orders and then shipping them whenever.
Yeah.
Did they actually? I was gonna. Did they say like when they're gonna ship these?
I think they said this year.
Okay. I mean, even if it was like holiday this year, it'd be okay, I guess. But
Yeah. I mean, knowing Analog, you'll get it like December 29th. You know?
okay, so on this story too, it says the original on October of 2020, they announced that it being $199.99, but at 100% was $249.99.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
just
like
realized that.
everything's gone up in price.
Yeah,
Frankly,
this is
like
true.
everything. I'm not surprised to see a price increase on this. Even the pocket's gone up by $20. It was
Sure.
$199.99. Now it's $219.99.
It
So you
doesn't
ordered
come
two of
with a
these. I didn't
controller
order
though.
any of these actually. I was a little bit disappointed by this announcement because I was really hoping they are going to have the Analog OS with the library function and all that, but they're not going to have the open OS, so that you're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to. Other people who are making, for instance, Pocket Cores are not going to be able to do that with this thing, which is kind of a bummer for this. That's been such a cool addition to the Analog Pocket. Um, Opening that up to outside developers. And frankly, I don't own any PC Engine or TurboGrafx CD games, and I have a perfectly functional TurboGrafx 16. I just don't see myself using this ever.
Sure. I don't. And I like analog products. So
Yeah.
but I do have, I got quite a few Hue cards and a couple of CD games.
Yeah.
Couple. So I'll probably use this. This will be my way to get in. But I don't think they come with controllers. Like you have to buy separate 8-bit.
All of them do. All 8-bit do products don't come with controllers.
Oh.
They're kind of partnered with 8-bit do, and they recommend like
my
the 8-bit do
Genesis
controller.
came with a controller because it was a special edition.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. That special one did.
And then, well, no, the NES did it. The NT Mini.
No.
Okay. I bought my SNES used, and it came with a controller, so maybe that's why. So that's another $20. But
yeah. Yeah, I mean, those are nice controllers. The PC Engine 8-bit do controllers are really nice controllers. They trade the switches out for turbo buttons, which is, I don't know, it'd be nice to have the switches, like so you could adjust the turbo. You could turn on and off the turbo as well as adjust the speed of the turbo. And I can see for some games you might miss that functionality. But they are really nice controllers. And you can get them in the TurboGrafx 16 colors or the PC Engine colors.
Nice.
Now that they've done this, like, I do wonder, like, getting rid of so they've gotten rid of the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. Like, are they going to release a next generation Super Nintendo that has the Analog OS built in, like all that stuff? I'm interested to see what they're going to do in the future.
Can they just do a firmware update?
I don't think so. I think they need the extra like overhead on the hardware side to have like that extra layer of operating system running in the background.
Do you think there'd be much pushback if they came out with a new version of the SNES?
Dude,
the Genesis?
There's always pushback on these guys. It doesn't matter what they do. People are constantly throwing hate at these guys. Constantly. Sure. Have you ever looked at their subreddit?
Rarely. His face was not not
it makes Destiny the game subreddit look like a pleasant afternoon, like it is ridiculous over there. Yeah, people don't like this company. They don't like the fact that you have to pay, like a bunch of money and then have to wait like a year to get your product. They don't like that it's all locked down. There's a bunch of shit they don't like about it. They don't like that they present as an American company, but they're clearly not in America because all your shit gets shipped from like, Shenzhen, China or whatever. There's a bunch of stuff that people don't like about this company, but they do make nice products.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna order one. I don't know. I might end up ordering one. We'll see. I just don't see myself using it, especially seeing as how I have a perfectly operational TurboGrafx 16 that's just been freshly recapped.
So I think that's it for the news.
Oh, okay. So the game of the week, Super Mario World, got delayed last episode.
It did.
Now, clearly, this isn't the first time either of us played this game, right? This is like a game that has been in our lives probably since we were first introduced to a Super Nintendo. It was the pack-in for Super Nintendo for I think most people, right? Like the majority of people who got a Super Nintendo probably got this game in it. You know, it's the next Mario game, and it's awesome. Like it's like what are you gonna say about this game? It's amazing.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of critique that you can have for this game. It was pretty
No,
revolutionary at the time, and it was carrying forth the greatness that Super Mario Brothers 3 was too. Like SMB
yeah,
3 was amazing, and then this just carried the torch, triumphantly into the next era.
yeah. Added a bunch of new gameplay mechanics. It added like some 3D effects, like being able to climb on a fence and like switch side of the fence you're on. You got Yoshi riding an animal. You got the cape, which was really cool. Like this, it really did feel like, okay, like this is the reason to buy a Super Nintendo. And like it's funny too because Genesis was running those ads like showing like pokey old Mario on the Super Nintendo. He's so slow and old, and we got Sega so fast. But I mean, this game, it really is. It's like, it's. I don't know if it's definitely graphically evolved past Super Mario 3 because it's on new hardware. I don't know if gameplay it's like really like leaps and bounds above Mario 3, but it's definitely further refined, right? Like they've continued to refine this formula of the Mario franchise, and it in my opinion, I think this is the best one of the original like 2D ones. I think a lot of people would disagree. A lot of people really love Mario 3 above this, but this is a fine opinion. I think both are amazing games. You're splitting hairs between them. But this game is fantastic. What are you going to say about it?
I found out some new things that I didn't know before. Super Mario World was the first game designed for the SNES.
Makes sense.
Which I found to be interesting. They were originally going to like use a lot of Super Mario Brothers 3 since it was the sequel, but
like assets?
No, it was that they were originally I think developing it for the NES or something like that, and then they like pushed it out to the SNES. So that's why it was like the first thing developed for the SNES.
Yeah.
And there were 16 people involved in the creation of the game, and it took about 3 years to make, which is a long time back then and quite a big team.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I mean, I'm sure that as they were working on the hardware too, is like, you're constantly like making changes. Like, oh, what the fuck is Mode 7?
Right. Just trying to think. So I was playing through it and I like replayed through it. Did you know why? So you can play for a while and then save and quit, and then when you pick it back up again, you only have 5 lives when you start again.
I didn't notice that, honestly.
I noticed that and I was like, I couldn't find anything on it. It was just really weird.
Yeah.
People were talking about it like it was normal, like you knew it, but I couldn't find anything about why.
Oh, okay. You couldn't find anything about why? Maybe it's just like to keep down save file size, or like so you can't just rack up like a million lives. Who knows?
I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, this game is it really is like it's the first time most people saw a Super Nintendo in action. When they originally were advertising the Super Nintendo on TV, it was like this game. I think it was F-Zero. There might have been like a football game, but it was like this game and F-Zero that were really like blowing people out of the water, like graphically. Because when you look at this game in action, like it's so clearly like the next level above what the NES was doing. And if you were a Mario fan, which, a lot of people were just like Nintendo franchise fans, right? It's like they just fucking love Mario. And to see Super Mario World looking this fucking good, it's just, the Super Nintendo is a no-brainer purchase.
100%. Sorry, I had a dog like chewing up stuff in the office, so
no, I got you.
I don't know
problem.
if he had to take an emergency dump or something. He ran to the door.
Oh, I've been there.
Did you know that this was
been there, brother?
The 6th entry in the Super Mario Brothers series, which I did not
okay,
know.
because of the Game Boy games.
Yeah, probably the Super Mario Land 1 and 2, and then yeah.
Okay, so maybe I'm just old jerk, but I don't consider Game Boy games to be like main entries in series. Like they're handheld games.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't know. I mean, I think as long as they're like different, like the levels are different, the story's a little different, I think they
yeah.
consider it. There's so many, like think about how many Mario games there are.
Oh, there's a
There's
billion of them.
so many at this point.
Yeah.
Like, and I haven't played a good chunk of them, like of the newer ones from like Wii U to now. I haven't like played them very far. Mario Odyssey and all that stuff. I played them a little bit, but there's so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
They originally wanted Yoshi to be a horse.
Oh man, I'm glad they didn't.
They wanted Mario to be riding a horse,
Yeah.
but they eventually changed it to a dinosaur because it fit things better. And then, they're also on a dinosaur. What is it called? Dinosaur Land. So they took the horse idea and put it to Zelda instead.
Oh really?
Yeah. And did you know that
for the N64 Zelda?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess that was the first one where there was a horse, huh?
Yeah. I think so. Unless there was like a
And
Game Boy game that had a horse in it that I don't know about.
I don't think so. The manual reveals that the sunken ghost ship in Super Mario World is actually the airship from SMB3.
Oh really?
I thought that was cool. Yeah.
Oh,
So in the middle of the water on the map, you can see the ghost ship.
like canonically or like asset flip wise?
Yeah,
like canonically.
it's in the manual. Yeah.
Okay.
Canonically.
Okay, that's awesome. I like when they do stuff like that. Like,
yeah. Which doesn't. I don't feel like it happens a lot in Mario games, but
yeah, Mario. Like, like I wouldn't consider there to be like a. I'm sure somebody out there has done this, but I wouldn't consider there to be like a official timeline of Mario. Right? It's like it's just whimsical games.
Yoshi's Island is a prequel to this game.
Okay, there it is.
And then I think some of the like RPG style games are in the timeline.
So there is an official timeline for Mario.
Like Mario and Luigi and stuff. I mean, I don't know it, but I'm sure there probably is. Like, think about Paper Mario and all that. There's got to be a timeline out there that has all.
Why does there have to be a timeline for Mario? Who cares? Who cares? Why is there got to be a timeline for Zelda? Who cares? Just play the fucking game.
Zelda has more of a story than Mario does typically.
Yeah, but they don't make sense if you put them together. I don't care who says what timeline or how many timelines there are. It still doesn't make any fucking sense because the people who made the games were not thinking about it when they made them. Sorry.
Pretty much every Mario game was like, oh no, Princess Peach got taken again. You gotta go save her,
Yeah. So you beat this game?
Not this time around, but I have in the past, I'm pretty sure.
I've never beaten it. I didn't beat it this time. I've never beaten it. I'm not sure that I've ever beaten any Super Mario Brothers game. Oh, I did. I beat one of the new Super Mario Brothers games on the DS.
I'm pretty sure I've beaten 1 and 3, but it was after warping.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that counts. You don't beat every level. I've never beat every level.
Yeah, you were talking about Yoshi's Island. So I'm not going to get into it. Yoshi's Island is a prequel because he's a baby. Is that why?
Well, that's what I read. Like when I was doing research, is that it's like it's a prequel. Yeah. You're carrying baby Mario around.
Yeah. I gotcha.
I imagine that any game with baby Mario is going to be a prequel.
How many games with baby Mario are there? There's a bunch, I think.
Other than Super Mario Kart? I don't know.
Oh, interesting. So Super Mario Kart is a prequel to Super Mario Brothers.
It's got all of them in it. That's disconnected completely.
What about the timeline, Jay? What about the sanctity of the timeline?
Pretty sure the DS game Partners, is it Partners in Time that has Baby Mario and Baby Luigi in it?
I don't think I've ever heard of that game.
They find themselves. They go back and find themselves and use themselves to help solve whatever. I don't know. Kind of fun.
Super Mario games, to me, like, I just do not get excited for them. Like, they are good. They're technically some of the best games Nintendo's ever makes. But, man, they just do not wet my whistle. They do not, like, I don't know. There's just something about them. I think my favorite of them is, I think I was telling you before, is the Yoshi's Island. I think is my favorite one of them. Yeah. Just because the mechanics are so cool.
There's not a whole lot of depth in these games. Because it's like, you get to the end, there's the collectible stuff to open up the secret stuff, but that's about it. There's no like, it's tough to play games now without some kind of level up factor in it.
I
The like
guess.
arbitrary. Oh, you're rank 20 now, which means you're slightly stronger than rank 1. You know what I mean?
I'm just less like drawn to the whimsical kind of like nature of Mario and like kind of it's just not my thing. I don't know
You
what to
still
say.
like good games. I get it.
It
It's
could be
fine.
that. I do like Destiny.
When was the last time you played Destiny though? Regularly.
2 days ago.
Regularly.
Regularly, there's no chance in that ever fucking happening again. There's not a world where I'm going to
I'm just
put
saying, when
in
was the last time
40
you played it
hours a week.
regularly?
Like,
No, you don't
like
have to play 40 hours a week. Maybe 5 to 10.
I mean, I play when the new seasons come out, and I play like the new season. But there's never going to be a world where I'm like devoting like multiple
Grind and
hours
all
for
that stuff.
multiple days.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Fair.
just over it. They to me like the last holdout was like I really was like into collecting everything, but once they opened up that Eververse store, that just died for me. Like I didn't
Yeah.
care anymore. Like
Well, there's just, and they limit our vault space and all that stuff too, so it makes it tough.
that's true.
That's my struggle.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to retro.
Yes, my bad.
No. It's fine. I wasn't. Yeah. I played a little bit of Mario is Missing. By
Yeah.
the way, so just as a little featurette, I played a little bit. It's weird.
Wait, I didn't get to play it. What is this game?
Okay, so it's an educational game. It's like a geographic learning game, and basically, think of like Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
Okay.
Mario, literally the beginning of the game, he just like falls through the earth, and Luigi's like, "Oh, I gotta go find him," and then he just like goes into the castle.
I
And
feel like Keanu Reeves would have nailed that.
the whole the hole just closes up, and Yoshi's sitting there like looking down, like, "Huh, what's happening?"
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah. Keanu Reeves would be Yoshi, but I thought it was funny because the game opens up and they're already using Super Mario World assets and music and stuff. So this game was not created by Nintendo in any way.
Oh, who made it?
They were licensed by I didn't get the company. Hold on. But it was licensed by another company. So Nintendo basically was like, here, have our license. It was developed by the software Toolworks Radical Entertainment. I could have just looked on the box. And published by Software Toolworks as well.
Did they also make Carmen Sandiego, I wonder?
I can look.
Did Nintendo just say, hey, make one of those for us?
Yeah, right, basically. They made the Miracle Piano teaching system, actually.
Oh, okay. That was cool, actually.
Yeah. They made Adventure, the original Adventure. They made Chess
for
Master,
Atari?
Yeah, Hunt for Red October, Legend, Tomorrow's Missing.
I remember seeing Hunt for Red October at Blockbuster Video and being like, what? How? What? How are you going to make a video game based off of that movie? Like, I could not understand. I'm gonna have to play that game someday and figure that out, because like it did not make any sense to me.
I don't think it's a good game. So
no, clearly, how are you? What?
They also did both of the Mario's early years games for the SNES as well. Both of the other learning games for the SNES. So, and Mario's Time Machine. So they did all 4 of those games for the SNES.
Oh.
But anyway, so this game, you basically go around different cities in different geographical locations, and you talk to people and you get clues that are almost all history related. And you have to like collect stuff and take them back. You can run, you can hop on turtles, you talk to people, you can go in buildings. It's, I don't know if I can't remember the last time I played Carmen Sandiego, but it's basically a murder mystery game with Mario, but he's not murdered. You're just trying to find out where he is. It's a hostage situation.
That's too bad.
How dark would that be?
Didn't they kill Mario in like the most recent? What? They just killed Mario in something.
What?
Can't remember. Tired? Keeping up?
News to me.
Can't remember.
It also, Mario's Missing is the first game that Luigi was a star of.
Oh, really?
And the next one,
and he
was
still couldn't get top billing.
Yeah, his name's not even on the fucking game, and he's the main character. Yep.
Anything else to say about Mario's Missing?
It's not a good game.
Not good. It's an educational game. You don't expect it to be good.
Yeah.
It's they're probably like,
lot
oh,
of
we're really
reading.
really trouble for putting out this Mortal Kombat game. We should put out some.
It's a lot of reading.
Yeah,
But
fun.
I thought the funniest thing was that basically Nintendo was like, here, make us an educational game. We don't want anything to do with it. Have fun.
Yeah.
Like, that would not happen anymore. There's no way. Like, licensing the Mario characters out to a different company. Think about when the last time that happened was.
Well, the Mario versus Rabbids games with Ubisoft.
Yeah, but they already had Rabbids games and stuff, and didn't they just like introduce him into that?
No, because they're like XCOM like strategy games. The Rabbids
Right,
games
but
weren't
there's-
like that.
Oh, okay.
The Rabbids existed as characters, but they weren't like.
But that started out on the
game.
Wii. That was a long time ago. That was almost 20 years ago.
The Rabbids just came out.
Right. No, they're still making them, but they made
Yeah.
that first one on the Wii, right?
No, it's on the Switch. Came out on the Switch. The first Rabbids games did, but the Mario tie-in came out on the Switch.
Okay, fair. All right. Well, I mean, at least the Rabbids games had been around, and they know that they were remotely successful and stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, I guess they licensed the characters to Square for Super Mario RPG.
Mm-hmm.
So it seemed like they did a lot more back then than they do now for games.
Yeah. Remember those Zelda games that came out for the Philips?
CDI.
Yeah, CDI.
They learned their lesson.
I don't know. Money is money. You give enough money, you can do much anything.
They're doing aren't they doing some mobile games too? Like, I've always thought that they should
on
really,
your phone.
like, create phone games with the licensed Nintendo characters. 100%. They could, Pokemon, that was Niantic and Pokemon Company, which is not necessarily Nintendo. So
yeah, but that was pretty popular. I think it's still pretty popular.
yeah, well, they updated all the time.
Yeah. They do have that Mario Run game that I don't know how
Fun for a
popular
bit.
that is.
Yeah.
So I got a pick for next month.
Sure.
Next episode.
Which will be in June next month.
Yes, it will be next month. I'm really excited about this one. This is an ultra rare Super Nintendo game. To my knowledge, the only way to get this thing, it was only released to Blockbuster Video as a rental. So the only way to get it, like as a cartridge, is to get like one that was a Blockbuster cartridge.
Is it
Can you guess what I'm talking about?
Arrow Fighters?
No.
Hagane.
Yes.
Hagane, actually, I think that's the one that it's rumored that it was Blockbuster only, but it wasn't actually.
Oh, really? Okay, interesting. So this is, a Ninja Cyborg game, kind of in the vein of a Shinobi or a Ninja Gaiden. But man, this game looks fucking awesome. And I've never played it. I've seen some videos of it. I ran across a couple of videos of it on YouTube a couple nights ago, and I was like, oh man, I'm totally picking that next. Can't wait to play it. But it's definitely not one I'm going to be picking up off of eBay because I think it goes for like $900 or something like that.
I do own it, but
Yeah?
my copy is haggard as fuck.
Yeah,
Like,
because
most
somebody
of
had to
them,
rip the Blockbuster label off of it.
yeah, most of them that you find are it might be black. I'm gonna do some research on it to confirm.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've heard both, like people speculating that it is and isn't. So I'm gonna try to confirm best I can. But it's most copies, probably 80 to 90% of the copies that you see the label is just ragged.
Yeah.
It is not in good shape. So I got it probably for half of what it was going for at the time, which is probably a fifth of what it's going for now. So I did not pay, now prices for it.
Yeah.
But
So it came out in 1994, Super NES, Japanese game, and it looks.
I haven't played it, so I'm excited.
real dope. Like it's just like a really cool game. Apparently, it's very difficult too. So I'm not anticipating like getting all the way to the end of this one without cheating anyway. Which I'm not above. I like to at least see the whole game. I'm not gonna be playing this game for the next 4 months exclusively, especially with Street Fighter 6 coming out in like 2 days.
Yeah, they don't have any like newer Hagane stuff like at all, right?
No, as far as I'm concerned, this is like a one and done franchise.
Yeah. And I don't think there's any way to play it on anything other than the original hardware or a ROM, right?
Yeah, definitely. This is ROM bait here. This is like basically the reason you would want to play video games with ROMs because you don't want to find an actual cartridge.
There are websites, but yes. Do you have any pickups?
I do. I have one actually. This is something I ordered off of Kickstarter a couple of years ago,
Okay.
and it's a couple of books. The first one is Dreamcast Year 1. The second one is Dreamcast, guess it, Year 2. And they're like, kind of cool informational books about, the first year of Dreamcast and the second year of Dreamcast. There's like an article about Blue Stinger, the video game, Sega Rally 2. So it goes through like some of the games, people's stories about like the release of the Dreamcast, the death of the Sega Saturn. I've only gotten probably about 30 pages into the first book, Dreamcast Year 1, because it just arrived a couple of days ago, and I have been fucking killer busy. But so far, it's been pretty interesting reading. And, they weren't that expensive. Kind of a nice little book. I love the Dreamcast a lot.
You know if they sell those anywhere else right now?
I would have to look that up. If you go to the Dreamcast Junkyard, they have a website. They'll probably be able to figure it out there.
Cool. I'll have to check that out. That's dope. I do actually have some pickups this time. I haven't been buying stuff as recently or as much recently, but I'll keep my eye on eBay, and I have a few things tagged, stuff that doesn't pop up very often, or at least for good price. And something popped up that was on my saved seller or like saved search or whatever on eBay, and I'll show you what that was first. And it winds up being the same thing that always happens to me. So I buy one thing, which was Bad News Baseball, and I bought this for our friend Josh Hamlin over at SideQuest Games because he originally was going to pick this before we did Zelda. So since then, I had been looking for a decent, clean copy of this.
That looks brand new.
Complete copy. Yeah, it's in real good shape. And the price was like above price charting, but these don't pop up much. And most of the ones that I've seen pop up are like double what price charting says recently in the last year or so. So this was under that. So it was priced competitively compared to what's been going. And so I did the thing that I always do. I messaged, like, I saw that the seller has some other stuff for like decent prices. Some stuff was like really high. So I messaged them. I was like, hey, do you by chance have any other stuff you're looking to sell? Because I was looking for a few other things on my list because they were selling a bunch of sports games, which I don't have a lot of sports games on my list, but I have a few. So they're like, yeah. And so they sent me a picture and I was like, okay, how much for these four or whatever? And they didn't respond, of course, which happens. And then they listed them all, most of them being like 2 to 3 times what the market value was, even though they're in real good shape. So, but they had best offer on everything. And so I was shooting them best offers for like $5 less than market value. And some of them they took, some of them they didn't. They'd like rebuttal, and then I'd come back and I'd be like, hey, look, I respect you. This is just an offer, but there's currently like 2 other listed right now for $40, and you want me to spend 80 or 90. I'm like, this is the highest I can go for this. And then they ended up accepting it for like everything. I was like, okay.
Oh.
Like I wasn't going to be heartbroken if they said no. I was just like not going to pay $80 for a $40 game kind of thing. So I'll just quickly show you what I got. Nothing too crazy. Tecmo Super Bowl 3 for the SNES. Like, but these are in better shape than I've seen like most other of these games go. Like they have all the inserts, all the things, the bags, the little thing. So like that was the main reason I wanted to get these from the sellers, because regular Tecmo Super Bowl. This was like I got it for like $20. So I mean, it's hard for me to say no for $20. Another one I got for, I think I got this for 15. Super Tennis for SNES.
Is that a good game,
Not,
Super Tennis?
yeah, it's fun. It's
Yeah.
fun. It's not like a rare game. I mean, if you can get a complete mint in box game for $20, I consider that a win. Especially if, I mean, I played that as a kid a bit. Baseball Stars 2, which is kind of an obscure NES game, not as easy to find. Again, really good condition, all the things. And then the last one, which we covered NBA Jam, and I had been looking for a solid copy of
Oh,
Tournament Edition
the
for a while.
Tournament Edition.
Yeah, so I got the Tournament Edition now, so I have both. And again, really, really good condition. And I mean, like $40 for that, not bad. And then a couple of other pickups. Our neighbor, that our kids have the same class, knows that I collect, and they sent a picture to my wife like, "Hey, would John? My name's John. Would he want anything from this picture?" And my wife showed me, and I was like, "Yeah." And nothing was really great. It was mostly like, okay, so it was her husband's grandmother had bought a DS in the early 2000s, and any grandma that I've ever seen get a DS, they get like very
Brain
specific
Age.
types of games. Brain Age,
New York Times
crossword,
crossword.
all that stuff. So there was like 12 games, 10 of them were those. And then there was a couple that weren't. There was Animal Crossing Wild World, which these are mint. Like she played them once, right?
Yeah.
And then another one is actually Tetris Worlds.
Oh,
this is not an expensive game, but it is complete. It's like 15 or $20. It's got rips in it or whatever, but and then the DS itself. I was thinking maybe it was a DS Lite seeing this box, this case. But no, it is an actual DS. And it is the blue one.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
Man, I haven't seen an OG DS in a bit.
Yeah. And you don't find them in this good of condition very often. Usually they're beat to hell.
Boy, those things are fugly, huh?
I mean, I had a silver one. Like,
yeah,
this was a huge upgrade from the Game Boy Advance. Are you kidding me? It had backlit screens, you know, all that stuff. So this was a pretty monumental device at the time, for sure.
Yeah, just
for Nintendo,
just an ugly one.
Yeah. So they were just gonna put it on Facebook for free, and I was like, you're gonna have somebody come in and scoop it up and resell it anyways.
Yeah.
So I ended up finding a couple of Switch games because they didn't want me to pay anything. I was like, okay. So I found a couple of Switch games like trade, and I still ended up pretty good value wise, but I don't like taking things from people without giving something in return.
Sure.
So I had a couple of Switch games lying around that I traded them.
It's inconvenient to have a conscience sometimes, but I think it's overall a win.
It just, no, yeah. It's just, I was like, it's like $50 or $60 worth of stuff. It's not.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So that's what I got.
Nice. All right. Is that the show?
I believe so.
I believe so. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. Next week, we'll be back with Hagane and a bunch more retro news. And frankly, my photo shoot season should be over by then, so I should be a little more... have a little more time to devote to actually playing the games and getting some news going, too. Thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful end of May, and we'll see you in June. Pride Month. Bye. Peace.